Welcome, NoDQ Galaxy, and we are back for number 55. Did I get that correct, gentlemen? NoDQ review number 55. I am Virtue, being joined by the elite team of NoDQ, which is TJS, once again not wearing a NoDQ shirt, which is the norm. Big G sporting the Fire Virtue shirt. I got the NoDQ review shirt on. And Aaron, I'll let you pass because you got Michael Myers on. What's up, Aaron Rift?
Yeah, well, I just finished recording the NoDQ review for SmackDown, so yeah, I really did not have time to get dressed and change up for the video. But TJS, what's your excuse? Where's your brand loyalty, damn it?
Man, I just need to buy more NoDQ shirts so that way.
Did you get hot dog ketchup and mustard on it from that contest you did?
Oh my God, that contest was rigged, I think, because they had two different sizes of hot dogs. So they had the really small ones and the giant ones. I didn't think that was fair, but whatever. I've been working on my calculator all day. I had to code it in C#, and it was very agonizing. But I'm here, going to talk about some wrestling. That should be fun. That should brighten the day. Big G, what's up, man?
I'm doing good. I'm coming off the heels of my birthday weekend. As you can see, nice clean shaven again. Ready to discuss some wrestling with you fellas, and let's get the ball rolling, Virtue.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We got to sing happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Fröhlichen Weihnachten.
No, it's okay. I'm kidding. We're not going to sing happy birthday.
That was German. Did you I don't know how my pronunciation sounded, but... Or was that Merry Christmas? That was Merry Christmas.
That was Merry Christmas.
But everybody knows I love Christmas Vacation, so there you go. Let's talk about the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins. So they had these two triple threat matches on Raw, and the winner of the two triple threat matches face each other in the Raw main event, and the winner would go on, or will go on, to face Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. Now I'm sitting here thinking, SummerSlam, the biggest event of the summer. Money in the Bank, maybe the fifth biggest show of the year. Okay, they're going to do Baron Corbin to piss the fans off, to give Seth a win, right? Just makes sense. Cheap heat, whatever, I don't care. They had AJ win it. I think it's too soon. I think Aaron Rift, like you said before, blowing their wad. I don't know. I mean, take it away, Aaron. Why do they do this? Is it because it's the network era and they don't sell pay-per-views anymore? What's your thoughts on AJ and Seth at Money in the Bank opposed to SummerSlam?
Well, Money in the Bank is one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year, so I guess you could make an argument for that, but I would have preferred some build-up. You know, as I mentioned on the NoDQ live stream, I feel like at SummerSlam, you do the match at that pay-per-view, you give it some time to build. You know, back in 1998, Undertaker and Steve Austin wrestled at SummerSlam. They did not wrestle at Unforgiven a month after WrestleMania. They let that build up. They established Austin as champion for a while before they did that match. So yeah, they are doing this match early. It doesn't really matter anymore though, because stock is at an all-time high, hit $100 today. WWE is rolling in the bucks. They're doing great business. So they'll just do matches when they feel like it. If they want to do AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, they're going to do AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Maybe we'll get a heel turn from somebody. Maybe this feud will go on for a bit. Maybe it'll drag out to SummerSlam. I would love to see a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam as the blow-off to the feud. If they start the feud now, end it at SummerSlam Hell in a Cell. But as I like to say, highly unlikely in all likelihood. So, TGS, what are your thoughts?
Well, Seth Rollins has his Velcro championship now, which I think is really dumb. I like the fasteners, but whatever.
They put Velcro on the toy belts.
Yes, they do.
It's marketing strategy.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because Kofi's title doesn't have the Velcro, and like no other titles do except for Seth's, and I just think that's really weird. Maybe it's something Seth likes, but anyway. So I don't understand what they're gonna do for SummerSlam if they get this match out of the way so early. Because if this feud goes on, then it could get like really old, and I mean we've seen it with AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. They know how to ruin a good match. WWE does. They can write the match to be bad. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, their little feud wasn't that good, and I feel like it's time for AJ Styles to get out of the first gear because, like I've been saying, when he's wrestling, I feel like he never really gets to that next level. He never gets into that mode. It's like he's kind of phoning it in the whole time because he's just in these like TV matches and they don't really matter much. So he just keeps it short or whatever. And I don't know.
TGS, do you think that has a lot to do with the WWE schedule versus like when he was in Japan? He could look like all out every match because they didn't do as many.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a factor, and plus he's getting older. That's a thing. So, and I remember in 2016 when he was hitting the springboard 450 in about every match, and he was just going like 110 miles an hour every single night. But I understand wanting to tone it down a little bit. I just wish that when it came to the bigger stages like WrestleMania or whatever, that he would put 100% and that WWE wouldn't hold back. You know what I mean? But yeah, it should be a good match. I do feel like Baron Corbin should have been the opponent because it felt like they were building him up after he beat Angle and then he won the triple threat and then he just loses to AJ. So his momentum is just killed. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we get Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman later. I don't know. I don't think we've seen that match, but it would be interesting. Big G, what do you make of all this?
Well, I thought it was going to be either Corbin or McIntyre to face Rollins at Money in the Bank. And
that's a good point about McIntyre.
That way, like you said, Virtue, Rollins could get an easy win. And then at SummerSlam, he could face AJ and they could, like Aaron said, build up the feud, let it boil up, maybe AJ turns heel again, Seth turns heel. I don't think Seth is turning heel anytime soon. But so Money in the Bank, they're doing it. I got a feeling that it's going to be a triple threat or a fatal four-way at SummerSlam for the Universal title with Seth, AJ, Corbin, and McIntyre. So
you heard it here first from the Big G. All right, Big G. What TGS? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I had a dream where Brock Lesnar came out and asked for his rematch. It was like, you guys remember at Hell in a Cell when he just came out out of nowhere and he ripped the door off the cell or whatever. I had a dream just like that, but he interfered in the Money in the Bank match. It was weird.
Well, I had a dream that the WWE stock was going to hit $100 one day, and it did for a brief period today. Now, as closing time as the day we record this, it ended at $99.25 a share.
Right.
I see everybody, not everybody, but you know who you are. Oh, the domestic TV ratings are bad. This product is awful. Okay, that's fine. House show attendance is down. SmackDown Live has tarps. WWE's making money. They're able to sell their history, right? They sold to Fox. Is Fox going to get a 2 million rating for SmackDown? I don't know, probably, maybe a little bit higher. But the executives must have thought, oh, Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock. This is cool. But the transaction was done, right? The money was transferred. Now, I don't know how this is going to work with Fox. Could they cancel WWE? I heard if the ratings are bad, they could move it to Fox Sports 1. Who knows? But the bottom line is the deal was made, and I think they have to pay out WWE. Now, Aaron Riff, do you remember back in the day they had Raw? USA Network, that was their only show. This was before SmackDown. They would go live, and then I think they taped on a Tuesday night for the following Monday, and they cut live TV production costs, and they would have Shotgun Saturday Night, Sunday Night Heat. Not a lot of TV, right? And in those smaller shows, you could get the Bo Dallases of the world, or back then, the D'Lo Browns. I like that model, but the thing is with today, it makes sense why they have two big shows, because they're getting money from networks. There's some advertisers obviously out there that like that 2 to 2.5 million viewer demographic. What's everyone's take on this, that their stock is this high, but all the domestic numbers look like they're shrinking? Aaron?
Well, I mean, they're still a juggernaut. They're making a ton of money. They have all these different business deals. The WWE brand name is arguably stronger than it's ever been, despite the fact that the current television product is arguably the weakest it's been in a very long time. And I think part of that is just due, again, to oversaturation. We just have too much content, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever it is. If you add up Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, it's a lot to digest. It's a lot for the writers to have to come up with new material. We saw what happened with Vince Russo. He got burned out when they introduced SmackDown because that was 2 more hours of television he had to write every single week. So yeah, it's a lot to do, and it just keeps adding up. It seems like we're always getting more content added, more WWE programming, and I think that the creative side of it really takes a hit. But you still have all these people, all these different brands. Every wrestler is a brand. Every talent has their own source of revenue stream that's coming in. So they're making money with T-shirts. They're making money with all sorts of different platforms, not just pay-per-view buy rates. It's a totally different business now.
Australia, Saudi Arabia, which we're getting another one here in a month or two.
In June, I think.
That's business 101. And I'm sure if Vince wasn't bringing in money that way, he would probably have to sharpen up the TV product a little bit to get higher ratings, bring in more advertisers, sell more tickets. Big G, Aaron, did you have anything else you wanted to chime in on that, or I was going to pass it off to Big G, Mr. Analytical Big G over here.
Oh man, well, what was it? $99.52.
$99.25. It closed today on the 23rd of April.
That's been the highest it's ever been, right?
It closed, yes.
Man, oh man, Vince is doing something right. Like you said, the Fox deals, going to Saudi Arabia. They have a 10-year deal or something like that.
Something like
it's
that.
A long time.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be making money out the butt for the next couple years. And like I said, Fox going to SmackDown going to Fox, T-shirt sales. You know, what else is there to say? Aaron pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, social media. Look at the YouTube views that WWE. They're one of the top. They're one of the top YouTube channels for entertainment. Twitter, they have a lot of interaction.
It's the era of social.
Well, there are people that tell me that doesn't matter. It's all driven on TV ratings and tickets, but it's a different time. They're a global juggernaut which covers everything: social media, streaming.
Let me ask you this: if they didn't have the network, do you think things would be different?
If they had to sell pay-per-views at $50 a clip or whatever, 3 yawns for TJS, by the way, maybe more. They probably would have to have a lot more creative TV to sell that big ticket pay-per-view.
Okay.
But because it's the network, people are going to buy $9.99 anyway. It's cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And like Aaron said, there's a whole bunch of shows out there, like you said, Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK. And like you said, Virtue, they got the library. So you could go out, you can go back and watch old pay-per-views. So, of course, they're going to be making $10 per person.
Good point. And now, TJS, you're a global juggernaut. You've been to Japan. So what's your take on this insane stock price for a bad product?
Yeah, WWE is big in Japan also, because when I went to the Ribera Steakhouse, they had WWE. I mean, obviously that's a wrestling place, but all kinds of WWE stuff. There was WWE Live Tokyo things in there, and just outrageous. And if you really want to know how strong the brand is, just look. They sell WWE waffle makers, people. Like, Come on. Noah Foster has one, actually. So, I mean, WWE has to be really confident in themselves to make something like that. And the shop is just full of merchandise. They have the Saudi Arabia deal, the Fox deal. They're just swimming in money.
Comcast or whatever USA Network is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to ask you, TGS, is there a problem with having a WWE waffle maker?
No,
if you're older than 8, maybe.
Now wait a minute. Now some of us, we're just simple men, and we're lifelong fans, and we just want a waffle maker. Is there anything wrong with that?
Noah, bring that waffle maker to SummerSlam so you can make us all some waffles.
Look, man, I like waffles. I like waffles more than pancakes.
Well, we can tell. Sorry, man.
I mean, I'm not going hungry, but The thing is about Fox is that it's supposed to be in more homes than USA, but what's weird is that it's in my sling. It's not in my sling package. So what I have to do is I have to buy an antenna and mount it to the top of my trailer for it's $110 for this antenna. So I wonder if I should pay that just to watch SmackDown on Fridays.
Switch over to how much is your sling? Like $25?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say YouTube TV, but that jumped up to $50, and Hulu TV is about $50. So I mean, either way,
might as well get cable at this point again. It's all coming full circle.
I'll probably just end up getting the antenna. And I think Aaron's in the same boat as me. I don't think your sling has Fox either.
I don't know if it does or not, but all I know is I may switch to PlayStation View pretty soon. I like PlayStation View.
See, I got ATT Uverse, and I call them each and every year, bundled with my internet, to get a promotional price, because if they don't give it to me, I walk. So I use that customer.
Yeah, my mom does the same thing. Like every year, she threatens to go with another provider, and then they always give her the promo deal for another year.
That's how you do it. That's how you save money. All right, let's move on here. Welcome to the main roster, pal. I'm going to start with you, Big G, because good old Ricochet, right? Now, I know him and Aleister Black didn't win all their tag matches, right? Because they were in several matches together and they lost some. All of a sudden, we get ravishing Robert Roode, which obviously it's just Robert Roode, but I do like the 1990 Rick Rude mustache with that short haircut, like when Rude fought Warrior at SummerSlam. Guess who won clean? I believe it was clean. Robert Roode. Ricochet is Aaron, what was that term you said about Ricochet? The honeymoon is over. So Big G, thoughts on the flippity floppity Ricochet? Great at what he does.
Yeah.
But maybe is Vince McMahon just like, what's your character, bro? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. Now that he's on the main roster, he's gonna have to develop a little bit of character. I mean, look at Bobby Roode. I meant Robert Roode. He's got the whole glorious thing, and and Ricochet's not in NXT anymore, and what else can I say?
You don't really want to speak the truth on Ricochet. You're holding out hope that NXT is going to make a difference. TJS, what's your thoughts? I mean, is there any NXT talent over the last year and a half to 2 years that's going to be main event material? Lars Sullivan, maybe. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think that we have Owens at least, and
but he's been up for a while now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, more recent.
Lars Sullivan, and that's it. Maybe Aleister Black.
Well, you know what? You never know. Ricochet could be main event talent. I mean, look at Seth Rollins. He came from the Indies, and he came from NXT, and look where he is now.
I like Ricochet. I think he's really good. But they added sound effects.
I think Vince, he sees certain people in his mind who could be main event material, and of course,
it's made him a billionaire.
Yeah, true. And you can't win every single match, and unfortunately, Ricochet lost his debut match on Raw.
Listen, a couple months ago, Bobby was getting his robe pissed on by Drake Maverick, and he beat Ricochet clean in the middle.
But Drake Maverick's not on the Raw anymore, right? Or we don't hardly see him, so it doesn't count, right?
I feel like this is just because Robert Roode grew a mustache, and then Vince is like, oh yeah, I like the mustache, damn it. And now giving him the big push because there's really nothing else different. We just need to get Tracy Brooks, and then we'll have the complete heel Robert Roode from TNA.
Aaron Riff, do you think this will turn into some 50-50 booking with Ricochet and Robert?
I was just going to say that. I'm like, next week it would not shock me if it's Robert Roode versus Ricochet in a rematch and Ricochet wins. How about this? How about Eric Young gets paired up with Robert Roode and they reunite Team Canada? They could get something going with Eric Young, because otherwise Eric Young's going to be going no place fast in a hurry. I mean, he's pretty much lost in the shuffle now unless he gets paired with Roode. Otherwise, I don't know what else you do with the guy.
Zayn, Eric Young, and Robert Roode as Team Canada.
There you go. There's an idea. Do a new. I mean, it's been a while. WWE hasn't done like a Canadian stable in a long time, so I would be okay with that. Give something for Eric Young to do. He could be the lapdog for Robert Roode, just like he was in Team Canada. He could be his boy. And yeah, Ricochet, I think he'll be all right, but I think it's clear that he's not going to be positioned as a top guy right now. I think of the two guys, Aleister Black was always the guy that was going to go further than Ricochet. But Ricochet, he'll have a good run in WWE, but I don't see him being like Universal Champion or anything like that. But then again, did we really think Kofi Kingston was going to be Universal Champion even 6 months ago? Even 3 months ago, quite frankly. So
no.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, and KO stands for Kofi Obliterator. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh yeah, what do you think the War Raiders are going to be called next week? The Vikings? Maybe just the Vikings? I see how they changed it to Viking Raiders. Oh, but they had to keep that Viking experience in there for the finish. Like I literally thought they were botching that because they were used to the previous week. Yeah. Until I paid attention. Oh, that's the finishing move.
The announcers got confused, man. You could hear it. But I don't know. They could call them something badass like the Sons of Valhalla or something like that. But no.
Well, what makes this all confusing, TGS, it's the Superstar shakeup literally still is going on. They moved Andrade and Zelina Vega, who went to Raw last week during the shakeup, back to SmackDown. And Aaron, we know because they want the Latino demographic for Fox, right? More or less. And then Black went over. Now, is it because they're trying to keep couples together? Who knows? All of a sudden, they got this new idea for Black, and SmackDown is the showcase they can do it. This is nuts that they are doing this. Like, Aaron, what's your thoughts on the shakeup after the shakeup?
I think it's pretty lame. I think it's just very confusing. I don't even remember Jinder Mahal if he was moved.
No, they just kept on. They just did it. They just did it without even announcing it.
Whatever.
Did somebody go back to Raw when they sent those other guys back to SmackDown? Was Cesaro originally moved?
Well, Cesaro moved yesterday, so they had to throw somebody from Raw back to SmackDown to even it out, I guess. But
I feel like we're gonna have like another move or two. Like, this is getting a little ridiculous in my opinion. Just make the moves, and then when the moves are made, you're done with it. But
TJS, any thoughts on this shakeup? I mean, why even have brands at this point?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't get it either because the general manager is used to compete and everything, but now it's just the McMahon family running the whole thing. So there's no sense of competition, and I don't understand it either, guys. The shakeup, it's like WWE didn't have their crap together, so they're just like, oh, okay, last minute moves, let's do that. And then the way that they promote that is being like, oh yeah, it's bigger than ever. It's not over yet, but in reality, they're just incompetent and didn't know what they wanted to do. I mean, we saw the report that the Raw script was final 4 minutes before the damn show aired.
Right.
So it's really and also if Fox wants Mexican stars, then why the hell do they move Rey Mysterio? Come on, I don't know.
Hey, never say never. He might be back on SmackDown next week.
Big G, what's your take on it?
Oh, what's my take on it? At this point, like you said, why even have a brand split? With SmackDown going to Fox, they just need to end it. That way you can have superstars on both shows again, just in case the ratings don't do as well as they think they will on Fox. And, who knows if they're going to continue it next week and the week after. And at this point, it really doesn't matter. Andrade being on SmackDown, I think that's a little bit better for him. That way he won't get lost in the shuffle on Raw. So he can have his feud with Balor now. And, we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks.
Guys,
there you have it.
I like having like I like having unique competitors to each show, but something's got they need general managers again. I'm sorry to say it.
I agree on that.
Yeah, I think maybe within the next hopefully within the next year, so they'll bring it back or something like that. Because just having the McMahons run the show is just, I mean, how many times have we seen that, you know?
And you have Corey Graves on both shows. Like, why? I don't know.
Hey, Aaron, how was my video? Am I choppy?
You look good to me.
Okay, I just want to make sure because you're the one recording this because everyone's coming across choppy, so I'm going to do my best to continue to hear you. Well, let's move on here. So Starrcast, which is typically tied, it was tied to All In the first time, and it's tied to Double or Nothing, AEW. Undertaker and Kurt Angle were going to make appearances there, you know, like a fan meetup type thing or fan fest. And guess what? Guess who's not going to be there now? Guess who's been pulled? And I think it has a lot to do with Vince McMahon. I just want to know everybody's thoughts. Did you see this coming? Were you kind of shocked at first? I mean, Angle I could maybe understand, but Undertaker, I couldn't fathom that. And something just didn't seem right. And now that it's pulled, and rumor is that it's Vince McMahon doing it, TJS, what do you think, man? I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, the reports are that Undertaker just signed a new deal, right? So I guess Vince is like, okay, one of the conditions of you signing this contract is that you're not appearing at Starrcast. You're done, pal. So he pulled Taker, and I'm sure he pulled Kurt because, I mean, could you guys imagine if Undertaker ended up in AEW? That would be crazy. I mean, I know he just signed a new deal, but I thought it was really bizarre when he was announced for that anyway. And I didn't even know Kurt was going to be there, but I'm sure the fans aren't happy about this, the fans that are going to go there, because I'm sure people bought tickets just to meet Undertaker, and now that he's pulled.
I think most people already going to Starrcast were going there for all those other wrestlers, though, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, if I was going, Undertaker would be who I wanted to meet the most, though. And I wonder if they're going to get refunds. I doubt it, but not much you can say about it. I'm interested to see what happens here. Big G?
Well, Vince owns them. He owns their souls. They sold their souls to the devil, literally.
Yep.
It wasn't a big surprise. Vince or Kurt and Taker were pulled. You know, like you said, TJS. I think Taker signed a new contract, and I think. And, you know, they got other wrestlers that'll show up there. I'm sure Sting will be there. I'm sure and other people from AEW will be there. So I don't think the fans will be that mad just because Taker and Angle aren't going there. There's always other opportunities to meet them. Other than that, there's not much else to say.
Aaron, any thoughts on that, or did you expect it like I did?
I was not surprised at all that Undertaker and Kurt Angle got pulled. As soon as it was announced that Undertaker had signed a new contract, I'm like, yeah, they're going to pull him from that. They were making him an offer he could not refuse, just like in The Godfather. He had to take the offer and walk away from Starrcast, and they'll move on. They'll be all right because those fans, they will reluctantly see the other names that will be there, and they'll have a great time for all the various events going on, all the different shows that they have, all the different appearances, and of course, Double or Nothing. I think the fans will be okay. Of course, I could understandably be angry about that if I was a fan who bought a ticket to see Undertaker. But at the same time, you know, I'm sure that wasn't like the primary reason these fans were planning a trip out to Las Vegas at the end of May. So it is what it is. I think people will get over it, and I'm not surprised.
Now, here's what I do like, since we're kind of talking about AEW. So Dustin Rhodes, Dustin Runnels, Goldust is no longer employed by WWE. And almost instantly, he's announced on the card for Double or Nothing to be Cody's opponent. Now, I actually like this because they didn't really give him that WrestleMania match in WWE. They're brothers. The thing is, what I like the most about this is Cody's being an executive, which is still weird because he's not that old. I don't want to see him do the Jeff Jarrett thing like in TNA, where Jeff Jarrett was the guy that ran the place and booked himself as champion and in the main event all the time. I like how Cody is letting like Kenny and Jericho do the thing, Hangman Page and Pac with Neville, everybody knows that. And Cody's now going to have the sibling rivalry type feud going, and I like that. So I think this is good for Dustin, too, to give him something meaningful, which he wasn't getting in WWE. Anybody's thoughts? Dustin versus Cody. I think Dusty's going to be looking down on this one. Big G, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, this match actually looks pretty good. You know, they were tag champs in WWE for a while before Cody left. And I think they did have a couple like matches, but not like an actual feud in WWE.
Nothing on a big stage against each other.
Exactly. And you know, Goldust is no longer existing, and he's like painted his face like half red or something like that. So that's interesting. It'll be good. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Would it be better if it was an NXT to you? Would that make you more excited about it? Aaron, what's your thoughts?
I think Big G would be jumping for joy if it was in NXT, but guess what? It is in AEW. So you're going to have to tune in, Double or Nothing, buy the pay-per-view on
I don't have to tune in.
It's your
Or,
job.
you know, Big G, find an illegal stream.
No, you buy the pay-per-view on Fight TV, like everybody else.
No.
$39.99. You make a good living.
I do, but I'm not spending on my money on something that I'm not invested in. So.
Ooh.
You should spend your money on a promotion that is going to help the business in the sense of creating competition and forcing WWE to step up their game. Although at $100 stock, who knows if that's going to ever happen at this point.
No, Aaron, quit ducking the question. I know you're not the biggest Cody fan in the world. He's black, no DQ. You know, he's just a mediocre talent. So you're not really excited for this in one bit? You're probably more happy for Dustin to get something big on a bigger stage, right? This late in his career.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. I think it'll be entertaining, and I'm sure they'll get emotional and they'll point up to the heavens to pay homage to their father, and they'll hug at the end, and it'll be very emotional and nice. So, yeah, I think it's fine. You know, I don't have any issues with it. I think it's a nice match to have on there.
Do you think this is
what if it was Goldust for Stardust? Would you be more invested?
No.
Okay, I was just asking.
No.
Do you think this is a one-off for Dustin, or do you think he's going to be with AEW for a while?
I think it'll be a multiple match program. I think one of those two is going to get down and dirty, and a dusty finish is going to happen. Seriously, that makes sense. TGS, Does that make sense? Is Cody or Dustin going to just do something demonic and sickening and the best dusty finish of all time to keep this going for at least one more event?
I like the sound of that. And by the way, that yawn was that was on purpose because I know I feel like this is going to be a good novelty match, I think, but this isn't going to be like, I don't think this is going to be match of the night or anything like that. I feel like Goldust, Dustin Rhodes should have gotten better in WWE. They should have given him more. They should have let him do a farewell speech or whatever. But I mean, we know that's not going to happen. We know that he's going to AEW for at least the one-off, maybe more. I don't know, and I think it's really interesting how Goldust requested his release, and it seemed like he's granted it because he's on the alumni page. Harper still isn't, so I think that's really weird because they did say that Harper's request was denied. Who knows if that's true, but why do you guys think they would release Goldust and not Harper? Because Harper's younger, I think, and he's more likely to be full-time.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I thought they were granting everybody their releases that wanted them. I mean, that's crazy. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, but Dustin Rhodes versus Cody should be a decent match, and I do like how Cody is kind of in the middle of the card, not in the main event, like you said, Virtue, because he doesn't need to book himself to win every match. And let's face it, Omega's just better than Cody, and so is Jericho for that matter. So we'll see.
Cody could become a very, very good boss, so we'll see what happens with that. And by the way, Jeff Meacham Well, if he watches this and he sees the lack of interest that Aaron Rift and basically TJS has for the Rhodes, I'm sure he's going to have something to say to you guys. You're not true wrestling fans. You're Click fans. That's all right. Let's get to the main event. Who wants to sing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Does anybody know the words? Big G, TJS. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be my neighbor? I don't know. Bray Wyatt. So when this happens, I was watching Raw last night, and we saw the puppet, the buzzard puppet, the first week. We saw the dolls, the creepy girl doll in the rocking chair on the horse, whatever that was, the second week. They replayed all of them, and all of a sudden, it was like a set, and then Bray comes in with his new look, and I was like, oh my gosh. I liked it. I'm going to tell you why I liked it, because it's different. Bray, people, first of all, for the haters that hate this, I'm not going to mention any names. It's already got over 1.5 million views on YouTube, right? Yeah. Something that aired on TV. Way more thumbs up than thumbs down. Something's compelling about this to, I would say, what, casuals? I would say YouTube's a casual place for casual fans.
Yeah.
And look, you don't expect Bray to look like that. But there's something sadistic underneath that makes you want to watch more. Why is he wearing gloves that say hurt and heal? What are they? He's got a split personality. There's going to be something very 1997, 98 Mick Foley-ish with this, but with the Bray Wyatt spin. The problem is, Aaron, I'll start with you. Is creative going to let Bray own this? Or is it going to get too produced like the Orton match at WrestleMania, their version of the deleted with Matt Hardy, the House of Horror stuff? That didn't work because WWE tried too hard. I think they need to let Bray run with us. What do you think, Aaron?
I would hope so. I would hope that WWE would allow him to have the creative freedom with his character. I watched it a second time like everybody else on SmackDown, and I enjoyed it even more the second time than the first time. I was watching it, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is something different. And as you guys know, I always applaud creativity and thinking outside the box. We were all very quick to say, what the hell is WWE thinking with the whole broken mat thing in TNA/Impact Wrestling? And that turned out to be the resurrection.
I own that. I love that from the beginning, by the way. Just saying.
Okay. Well, good for you. But yeah, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, they creatively did something outside of the box, and it worked for them, and it ultimately got them back in WWE. So maybe this is what Bray needs to get his career going again. He needs a creative overhaul. And we've been saying this for a while. We were talking about this before it came back, that his character had gotten stale and they need to evolve the character. I brought this up, like with The Undertaker. Undertaker always evolved the character over the years.
Yeah.
It's time for Bray Wyatt to evolve that character and do something different with it. And that's what we're seeing. Will it work out? That remains to be seen. But if WWE gives him the freedom to come up with his own ideas and let it be his own, like you said, Virtue, I think it has some real potential to be successful. TJS, what do you think?
Man, you guys know why Bray's so happy. Look who he got pregnant. I mean...
Well, so I can pay for, multiple children with multiple child supports? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know what they say, once you go black, you never go back. Seriously, though, I think that this whole Bray Wyatt thing, at first when I watched it, I was like, this is really dumb. And then Virtue was really quick to call me out in the group chat.
Oh, you weren't the only one.
He said, it's Foley, F1. I was like, okay.
It's immediately what I thought of, dude. And that was a great time back then. And I'm not saying Bray has to do that, but if I see something in today's product that reminds me of something I liked back then, I'm going to love it today.
Yeah, and I've watched this like 5 or 6 different times just to analyze it, see what I missed. And I noticed the hurt and the heel, and he had the hurt glove up to his ear whenever he pulled the chainsaw out on the cardboard cutout. So
that was gold.
Yeah. It sucks that he trimmed his beard, though. I wish for like the sadistic side he could have the beard, and then he could go back to the regular Bray and then just have the short beard or whatever. I don't know.
How is he going to do that?
I don't know.
He's not Two-Face. He's not going to have half of what. Come on. Going to put on like a fake beard over the short beard?
I don't know, but this is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most next week. not Seth Rollins versus AJ, not anything to do with Becky, not Robert Roode, but I want to see where Bray Wyatt's going, man, because this guy's talented. We know, like, we've seen even from the Wyatt family days when he was the cult leader, he's always been very talented, and I hope WWE finally pulls the trigger on him.
Let me ask you this. Do you think these characters that he has could turn into actual wrestlers that need creative? I mean, when I look at that doll, the girl, the witch, you could be Nikki Cross. It could be Bailey. I mean, you know what I mean? They could really put some of these characters that have been stale on TV into this faction. And I know it's always about factions with Bray, but I mean, and maybe not. Maybe it's just Bray and a bunch of puppets and dolls, which would work too. But you think anybody could join him in this weirdness? Corbin could deliver the mail like Pee-wee's Playhouse? You know what I mean?
Well, the outfit would suit him.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of all of this being in Bray's mind or something, like he's schizophrenic. I think that would be like a little cool touch. You could have someone walk up to him backstage, and then he's doing the little puppet talks, and then, I don't know, whenever he sees him, he beats him up or whatever. Like, he sees who's looking at him, or he's like, do you want to talk to my little friends, or something like that. WWE has the potential to have something great here, and I think that this might not be as disappointing as, like, the Woken stuff, because when we saw the Broken stuff in TNA, and they set the bar for us, we were like, okay, this is what we want WWE to do for us. But with this, it's an original WWE idea, so we don't know what to expect, so we can't really be disappointed, I don't think, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm happy for Bray.
I think we can be disappointed because, we're hoping this will resurrect his career, and it may just ruin his career once and for all. It might be.
Aaron, you know what I could see happen with all this? It turns into a talk show where every week on Raw they make a set that looks like that house that he was in, and he comes out and he's like a talk show host.
Oh, please.
Let's hope not. But we've seen the track record of creative.
We see what's going on with
Big G, you were kind of like, I don't really know what your true. I think you said you liked it in the chat.
I did.
Go ahead.
I like it. So you just said you could see like this on a talk show. I was thinking this is gonna be a new show on the WWE Network. The Firefly Funhouse. I like it. When I first saw it, I was like, what the hell am I watching? I thought I was high or something like that. And you had the puppet, and you had the doll, and the witch or whatever, and Bray Wyatt comes out with the like bright red sweatshirt, and he said
how long did it take each one of you to like tune in to like just realize what you were seeing? Maybe like 10 seconds, 15?
I had to look away and then look back. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then the second time tonight on SmackDown when they showed it again, I was like, okay, he called him. He said he's not going to be this loser again. He had the cutout of his old self. And what did we used to call him? The eater of pins. Hopefully that won't happen anymore. We're going to hope for the best with Bray moving forward. Hopefully they do involve some people and make it a faction again. I want Nikki Cross somehow still intertwined with this because, she's got nothing going on right now.
Well, what about Ruby Riott? You could have Wyatt and Riott.
There you go. Wyatt, Riott, Wyatt. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just weird seeing him in a sweater and khakis. But then he had those gloves on.
I like his new hairdo, and he's toned down a lot. So maybe that'll help him.
He has the Big G build now.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's just hope this isn't the Jesse and Festus thing where the bell rings and then Bray will be evil, and then when the bell rings again, he'll be back to like all happy.
Hey, I kind of like that. It's like a split personality,
Yeah, there you go.
I like the idea of split personality, but I mean the bell.
Look like Virtue said, 97, 98 Foley. Foley had split personality. He had Mankind, he had Dude Love,
and then he settled into Mankind that ended up being the WWE champion, feuding with The Rock in some classic matches.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So maybe we can get something similar.
Similar, absolutely.
That's all I got this week. We'll keep it short. I think Aaron's a very busy man making us do this on a Tuesday night. So
Yep.
let's go around and do our plugs. TJS?
NoDQ.com/TJS. Take you to my Facebook page. Add me there. Talk about some wrestling. Watch my hot dog eating contest that I didn't win because it was bullshit. But Twitter @NoDQ_TJS. Follow me there. I do some live tweets occasionally. PlayStation Network, add me. Tyler Joseph Smith.
If you were in that hot dog eating contest eating EC3's hot dog, do you think you would have won?
And I really did almost throw up because I had like 6 of them down. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I don't know if I can go in it. I don't know.
So you're not going to be doing Coney Island anytime soon then with all those pros? Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, it was something. But, yeah, I lost my train of thought. NoDQ.com/shirts. Pick up a shirt. I'm not wearing one, but Virtue and Big G are. Fired Virtue, NoDQ review shirts, all kinds of goodies there. So that's all I got, fellas. Big G?
Yes, NoDQ.com/Big G takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ_Big G on Instagram. Jeff Phillips on Facebook. And that's it for the Big G.
All right. I think we should maybe talk to Noah Foster. We should do a no DQ waffle eating contest for SummerSlam weekend, TJS. Maybe you could win it for that because I don't know. Well, Noah Foster might be able to eat a lot of his own waffles. I don't know.
A lot. He ate like 5 Sundays once. I was like, geez, man.
Yeah, but he seems to have a fast metabolism, so you might be in some trouble there. That might be an interesting contest for sure. But yeah, we're gonna have to hit up Noah and see if he can make that happen. We gotta have some waffles for SummerSlam weekend for sure. I want some of these WWE branded waffles that he keeps posting all the time. All right, guys. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest, and we'll see what happens with Money in the Bank coming up. We should start having the participants revealed. I believe on Raw, Alexa Bliss is going to announce the participants. I don't think they're doing any qualified matches.
No.
Yeah, they're just going to announce all the participants on Raw. Money in the Bank starting to shake up. We got the 2 Becky matches. We got Roman Reigns versus Elias. We have Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, and we'll see what else they add. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all that. Virtue, let's go and wrap this bad boy up.
That's it. I'm Virtue. Follow me on Twitter. Try to troll me on Twitter, and you will get owned at NoDQ_Virtue. WWE stock is almost $100 a share. Let's see if it will close a day at 100 plus. So for TJS, for Big G, for Aaron Rift, I am Virtue. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.